Another day, another travel guide. Today, we're taking a closer look at Paris. Yes, that's right, the city of light, love and, well, never-ending tourist invasions. Why did I agree to do this again? Anyway, let's get started. First up, the Eiffel Tower. Oh, how original. I'm sure you've never heard of this one before, but I suppose it's iconic for a reason. It's a big metal tower, and people seem to love it. The truth is, it's just a very tall, very expensive way to see Paris. The lines are long, and the prices? Pfft. Let's just say, the view isn't the only thing that's sky high. But if you insist on going, do yourself a favor and go early, like crack of dawn early. That way, you might avoid most of the selfie stick wielding masses. Though honestly, I don't know why you'd bother. I don't care. Next up, we have the Louvre. Ah, the Louvre, home to thousands of works of art, including the famous Mona Lisa. Now, I won't lie to you, it's overwhelming. The place is massive. You could spend days here and still not see everything. Not that you'd want to, but that's just me. But if you're into art and history, it's definitely worth a visit. Just, please, do yourself a favor and plan your visit. Get a map, make a list of must-sees and stick to it. Otherwise, you'll end up wandering aimlessly through endless galleries, wondering why you ever thought this was a good idea. And if you do get lost, at least there's a cafe where you can rest your feet and your spirit. But who am I to tell you what to do? Moving on to Notre-Dame Cathedral. Ah, Notre-Dame. The jewel of Gothic architecture. The stained glass, the flying buttresses, the gargoyles. It's all very impressive, I suppose. But let me tell you something. It's always packed. If you're expecting a peaceful moment of contemplation, think again. You'll be too busy dodging tourists and their cameras to appreciate much of anything. But if you're into that sort of thing, go ahead. Just don't say I didn't warn you. Now, let's talk about the Champs-Élysées. The most famous avenue in the world, or so they say. Personally, I don't see the appeal. It's crowded, it's noisy, and the shops? Poof! Overpriced, every last one of them. But if you're in the mood to spend too much money on things you don't need, be my guest. Oh, and if you're already there, you might as well drag yourself to the Arc de Triomphe at the end of the avenue. The view is decent, if you can manage to survive the traffic circle to get there, but really it's your call. It's your. Ah, Montmartre. Now, this is a place I can actually get behind. Yes, it's touristy, but there's something about the winding streets and bohemian vibe that's still charming. Take your time wandering the narrow lanes, maybe even stop at a cafe for a coffee and a pastry. And if you're feeling ambitious, climb the steps to the Sacré-Cœur Basilica for a panoramic view of the city. It's a workout, sure, but the view, puff, it's worth it. Just watch out for pickpockets. They're almost as plentiful as the tourists. But hey, you didn't hear it from me. All right, let's talk about the Seine river cruises. I don't know why people love these so much. I don't know, I don't care. Sitting on a boat, floating down the river, looking at the same buildings you can see perfectly well from the street? No, thank you. But if you must do it, at least go early in the morning or late in the evening when the light is nice and the crowds are a bit thinner. Or better yet, skip it altogether and take a walk along the river instead. It's more peaceful and you can stop for a crepe or a glass of wine whenever you feel like it. But whatever floats your boat. Now, here's something a bit more interesting, the Catacombs. Now, this is a place that's worth your time. A labyrinth of tunnels beneath the city, lined with the bones of millions of Parisians. It's eerie, it's perhaps a bit morbid, it's fascinating. and it's definitely not your typical tourist attraction. Just be prepared for tight spaces and a lot of stairs. But hey, at least it's cool down there, and you'll be away from the crowds for a while. But then again, I might just like it because it's away from the crowds. Next, we have Père Lachaise Cemetery. This is one of my favorite spots in the city. It's peaceful, it's beautiful, and it's filled with history. You can visit the graves of famous people like Oscar Wilde, Jim Morrison, and Edith Piaf. It's a bit off the beaten path, but that's exactly why it's worth the visit. Just don't expect any glamorous Hollywood graves here. This is Paris after all. Classy, even in death. But whether you visit or not, well, it's your decision. Let's see. The Panthéon, a grand domed building that houses the remains of some of France's most famous citizens. It's impressive, I suppose, if you're into that sort of thing. The architecture is stunning, and the view from the top is worth the climb. But unless you're a history buff, you might find it a bit dry. But hey, if you're interested in paying your respects to the greats of French history, this is the place to do it. Before we wrap up, let me give you a few honorable mentions. The Musée d'Orsay, a former railway station turned art museum. The Jardin de Luxembourg, a beautiful garden perfect for a leisurely stroll. And the Canal Saint-Martin, a picturesque waterway lined with charming cafes. All lovely spots, and all worth a visit. But I'll let you discover those on your own. I've got better things to do than walk you through every single tourist attraction in this city. And there you have it, the Paris Travel Guide, according to Traveluptuous. Now, if you're looking for my personal recommendations, well, I'd say head to the Marais for its quaint cafes and boutiques. Take a stroll on the Promenade Plantée, and if you're feeling adventurous, visit Père Lachaise after dark. But you know, I don't care. All right, that's it from me. I hope you found this guide somewhat helpful, or at the very least, mildly entertaining. And if you're planning a trip to Paris, feel free to check out the links in the description for more details. Not that I care, of course. Yes, I know, I'll do better next time. Probably not, but we'll see.